We all know about cancer and common cancers. So, endometrial cancer, skin cancer, liver cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer.
Yeah.
These five cancers, people who drink coffee have a lower cancer mortality from these. So, five cancers: cirrhosis of the liver, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's dementia, the early stage of Alzheimer's called cognitive decline,
Okay.
low risk in coffee drinkers, low risk of type 2 diabetes. Here, both decaf and regular coffee work. And if you drink 4 to 6 cups, there's a 40 to 54% reduction in developing type 2 diabetes. And if one already has type 2 diabetes and they drink 2 cups, regular or decaf, there's a 30% reduction in cardiovascular mortality.
Beyond wine, we really care about health. The health of the planet and the health of each other. That's what inspired us to start this business. Our family of team members meets every morning for a group meditation, followed by an open gratitude session. We believe a sound mind with a focus on peace is the best instrument for change. Joint meditation is the cornerstone of our company culture, and it helps us remember what's important, spreading joy and love, just like our family growers. Our family is a collection of passionate, health-conscious individuals who love to laugh and enjoy each other's company. We eat seasonally, grow our own vegetables, cook together, and share wine. Our team is incredibly dedicated to our mission. Everything from sourcing the wines to answering service questions. Your natural wines are found and sourced around the world by our wine team. They taste every one, oversee their lab testing, and choose exactly which ones go in which box. If you order, your individual box will be packed by our incredibly hardworking fulfillment team. If you have any questions, your service requests will be handled by a wonderfully loving member experience family who only have one goal in mind, your 100% happiness. This video is put together by our talented media team, filmed and edited in-house, just like the rest of our artful media. From our unique creations to our printed lifestyle piece called A Matter of Taste. We put love into everything we do, and we hope to share it with you.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst show. Hey, it's a show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and where you can be set free from your health problems when you become your own doctor, learn about the underlying root causes, apply natural techniques, and let your body heal by itself. I'm your host, Dr. Aaron Ernst, and today we have an incredible topic. We're continuing the conversation into heart disease and things you can do naturally to help protect your heart, heal your heart, and even help you to reduce medication usage or reliance upon supports to make your heart look good on your labs. Last week, we talked about blood pressure and the connection between the underlying root causes of inflammation, neurological dysregulation, leaky gut, and toxicity, and how it correlates to elevated blood pressure. Today, we're going to talk about the nasty animal of cholesterol. This concept that you may still believe the old dogma that high cholesterol causes heart disease. And I know right here, we're already starting to get alarms going off, but Dr. Ernst, my medical doctor, every time I keep going in, they tell me my cholesterol is high, and I'm being told I need to take a statin or some sort of medication because if I don't lower my cholesterol, I'm going to hit a huge heart health risk. And I'm here to tell you, sadly, that is not entirely the truth 100%. Despite all this evidence in the last 50 plus 60 years of investigating cholesterol and its relationship, trillions of dollars, all this research, even the best medical equipment available today, the American Heart Association says that we still have a 40 to 50% chance of getting this disease called heart disease, plaquing in our arteries, atherosclerosis, leading to cardiovascular events. And yet, I think, this is just me now, it's because the theory of high cholesterol causing heart disease has not fully come to light. It's been somewhat disproven. There's technically no scientific evidence showing that elevated levels of cholesterol guarantees a clog to the arteries in your heart. And yet so many people still widely believe that my total cholesterol levels are a great reference and a representation of your heart health. So I want to help you get set free today with this idea that you can go back to eating eggs, right? Because a lot of people say, I can't eat eggs. You can start talking about grass-fed, wild-caught. We can do red meats. We can have our animal proteins and not have to freak out about our cholesterol levels if we look at them from a more holistic and functional perspective. I don't know if you know this or not, but cholesterol is actually something you can't live without. It's a healthy molecule. It actually gives your body nutrients. It shuttles fats around. It protects your cell membranes. And there's a tremendous amount of benefits behind cholesterol, as there are huge benefits behind saturated fats. So today's show is to try to break apart this myth of our saturated fats truly unhealthy? Is cholesterol truly unhealthy? And are you following the American Heart Association low fat, low salt, high carb, high grain diet, thinking that it's protecting your heart when in fact it could actually be causing more damage and more irritation? There are benefits to cholesterol, there are benefits to saturated fats, and they can actually help your heart to heal, and we need to discuss that. Just a brief little overview into the history of cardiovascular disease. I don't know if you know this or not, but back in the early 19th, 18th, even 17th centuries, heart disease was considered extremely rare. It wasn't until about the mid 40s and 50s, as we started processing food and started making more convenience foods, that we started to see a subtle elevation in cardiovascular disease or heart disease. And by the 1950s, it was considered a major threat simply because a lot of people had heart disease and nobody could figure out what it was. And in the last 50 years, this entire arsenal of statins and medications to lower blood pressure and cholesterol and all these drugs and even procedures with angioplasties and just the techniques that we use today to try to affect the root symptom, okay, the supposed plaque inside of the artery. And yet here we are today, and it's still a big deal. We still have a lot of people struggling with their cholesterol numbers. They're having cholesterol plaques, and it's not because it's cholesterol, guys. It's because the cholesterol is invited to the area of inflammation in your heart. And what we're learning today is there's different styles and types of cholesterol way beyond just HDL and LDL. Okay, you're going to have to elevate your knowledge in regards to particle sizes and counts, and we have to go much deeper than just blaming LDL and HDL. Back in the 1950s, there was a gentleman, his name was Ancel Keys, and he's the one that came up with what's called the cholesterol hypothesis. And his theory simply states that there is a direct relationship between the amount of saturated fat and cholesterol in your diet and the amount of coronary artery disease. So his original proposal was if you ate a lot of cholesterol and you ate a lot of saturated fats, you were going to have cholesterol blocking in your arteries. Therefore, if we cut out all the cholesterol and we cut out all the saturated fats, we should be able to make a difference in cardiovascular health. And here we are now, almost, 70 years later plus, and we're still seeing the effects. Americans have become so afraid of cholesterol that we were cutting fat out of all of our diets. We're avoiding saturated fats. We're avoiding cholesterols. And yet we still have as high or sometimes even higher levels of heart disease, cholesterol, plaquing, etc. Did you know that there is more recent research showing that vegetable oils, these are seed oils, so canola and corn and cotton, that these oils are actually the detriment. These oils are what are creating an inflammatory process in the artery vessels, which invites a specific type of cholesterol to come into the area for a repair process. So the LDL particles that we have to talk about between the large and the small are there to simply try to clean up the damage that's happening because of inflammation and oxidation from vegetable oils and eating too many processed and refined carbohydrates. So what we now know is that the new science of heart disease, close to 90% of all well-planned documented studies investigating this lipid hypothesis, do not support the idea that artery clogging saturated fats and cholesterols cause heart disease. So I'll give you an example. In 1994, this is a little bit dated, but it's a good one, the British medical journal Lancet in London analyzed the fats that were found in clogged arteries. And here's the interesting thing. Only 26% of it was a saturated animal fat. That leaves about 74% of this, okay, they discovered was an unsaturated fat, right? The same fats you find in canola oil and corn oil and all of the heart-healthy oils. So if Ansel Keys and the medical establishment was correct, when you pull this plaque out of somebody's artery, it should be loaded with cholesterol and saturated fat from animal sources, beef, and fats and things of this effect. And yet what they discovered was only 26% of it was from an animal source, and it was only saturated. The remainder of it is an unsaturated fat. I need you to understand why this is so important. Many of you are avoiding saturated fats like the plague because you think it's causing cholesterol plaquing. But yet the studies show it's the unsaturated seed oils that are actually the majority of what is found inside that clog. This is the type of heart-healthy oils that are being advertised to you and your family. So what it is the majority of the fat in clogged arteries is not saturated fat. It's not cholesterol. And now what we're finding out is the calcium that can sometimes accumulate and collect within an artery is an even major player to the plaque forming in the first place. So it's more important actually to have a calcium score test done on your arteries. It's more important to find out what is the ratio of your saturated and unsaturated fatty acids in your body. Do you have high levels of omega-6 inflammatory oils, or do you have the healthy omega-3 oils? And what we now know is that cholesterol is not as dangerous as we used to think. I'll give you an example. The cells of your body are made of cholesterol. Saturated fats and cholesterols make up 50% of the cell membranes in your body. It's what gives your cells the fluidity and the ability to absorb nutrients. So if you lower your cholesterol with statins, you stiffen and harden the cells of your body, and it makes it very difficult for you to absorb nutrients. Did you know that both saturated fats and cholesterol plays a vital role in bone health? Now listen to this. For calcium to be effectively incorporated into your bones, at least 50% of your dietary fats need to be from a saturated source. Cholesterol is also the precursor to vitamin D, which is a hormone that not just regulates bone health, but also energy and reproductive hormones like estrogen, progesterone, DHEA, and testosterone. Have you noticed that a lot of Americans today have weakened bones, low estrogen, low testosterone? Our energy is being sucked out of us, and it's partly because we avoid healthy cholesterols and healthy saturated fats. Did you know that you can enhance your immune system through the use of even healthy fats and cholesterols? Low cholesterol has been associated with aggressive behavior, depression, suicidal tendencies, and it's a major effect into our, I'll call it, states of well-being. Okay, we know your brain is made primarily of fat. 25% of all the cholesterol in your body is found in your brain. So if your cholesterol levels are actually slightly higher than normal, listen to this. The research shows people have better cognition as they go into later life if their cholesterol is higher than what a lot of our doctors want us to be. And the other challenge here is the fact that both saturated fats and cholesterol technically have antimicrobial properties. Short-chain triglycerides Medium chain triglycerides are saturated fats that come from coconuts and MCT oils. These are extremely protective against microorganisms that can damage your digestive system. We know cholesterol plays in a very important role in the maintenance and the healing of your gastric lining. So today there's this plethora of leaky gut and dysbiosis in most Americans, and it's partly because we are blunting our cholesterol response. We're not eating enough healthy saturated fats, and we end up with leaky gut, ulcerative colitis, and even intestinal disorders. So if you're listening to my voice and you're going like, is there a way to get out of this high cholesterol game? And I've been taking statins for years and I'm trying to get off of them. Okay. Yes, there is a way. And number one, I would implore you highly to take an action step today. Download my new ebook, Heart Heal Thyself, Heart Disease Heal Thyself. It's a functional approach to addressing cholesterol, blood pressure, triglycerides, all these elevations that supposedly cause heart disease. And let's learn about the numbers. We're going to talk today. It's more about the ratio and the size than it is the total number. All the answers you need as far as how to read your tests, how to interpret the guides, what are the steps necessary that you can begin today lowering your cholesterol, lowering your blood pressure, lowering your triglycerides. Grab the ebook. It's free. Simply text the word heart with your name and email. And hey, I'm going to throw in a bonus. Next Saturday, okay, it's July 8th, I am hosting a holistic heart health summit in the Carolina region. Technically, it's an online event. You can hop on and learn about the testing that your doctors are not doing that will actually show you what's the underlying cause of your heart health issues. If you've got high blood pressure or cholesterol, or your triglycerides are high, you've been diagnosed fatty liver, all of this is precursors to the underlying root reason of why the numbers are out of balance. If you want your heart healthy, we have to stop pushing the numbers down and start discovering what's the underlying reason they're elevated in the first place. So at the event, July 8th, I'm going to take you through a 3-step program that we've developed, which can lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol, help people reduce and or eliminate their medications, and it's completely 100% free for you to join this. Text the word heart with your name and email to 704-906-2094. Not only is the ebook yours for free, but next Saturday's masterclass, it's 10 a.m. in the morning. Okay, right on time, on spot, and guess what? It's an online event. You don't even have to leave your house, and I'll take you through natural steps to lower blood pressure, cholesterol, triglycerides, and guess what? Lose weight, get your energy back, and finally solve this thing called heart disease. Again, text the word heart with your name and email to 704-906-2094, and you get access to the event, and also we'll send the ebook to you. Now, I want to talk about something real quick. Most people know that there's a certain number for their total cholesterol, and then there's these two guys that have been identified, HDL as being good, LDL as being bad. But I want you to understand, neither of them are bad, both of them are good, and it's about more the number and the size. Less about the number, more about the size, less about the number, more about the ratio between them. Okay, so everyone's been told that, you need to get your total cholesterol under 200. You need to get your LDLs under 100. And then if you had perfect cholesterol, okay, watch this, perfect cholesterol, you wouldn't have a heart attack. Yet they're finding that just as many people who have great cholesterol numbers still have heart attacks. I'm thinking of Bob Harper, if you guys remember this, a couple years ago, celebrity fitness guru, right? Perfect cholesterols, fitness buff, worked out all the time, and yet what happened? Massive heart attack, almost killed him. And what they found out is that you can't just go based on your total cholesterol numbers alone. So if you want to really dive down into a true relationship, number one, we have to start looking at the ratios of your numbers. Okay, so is it important to get your total cholesterol score? Yes, but being under 200 is not necessarily like the goal to have. It's all about the ratio of this. As an example, if you have really good cholesterol, HDL, if your HDLs are in the 60s or 70s, your total cholesterol is going to be slightly higher simply because it's a combination of the HDL, the LDL, and the VLDL. All right. Did you also know that your LDL is not always the enemy? All right. In recent research, they've been showing that there is a particle pattern that you need to pay to. I'm holding up a graph for our online viewers. LDLs come in both what's called pattern A and pattern B, which is based upon the size. If you have large, fluffy LDL particles, this is actually desirable and good, but if you have small microscopic LDL particles, these are more dangerous because they can slip inside the cell membrane, become oxidized and calcified, and that can lead to atherosclerosis and or plaquing. So even if your total cholesterol number is slightly high, like as in this example, it says 130, this could be a healthy relationship because 130 small particles, very dangerous. Think of them as like little tiny BBs versus larger bullets, okay? You want large, fluffy particles floating through your arteries because what LDL does, guys, is it brings nutrients, it brings fats, it brings vitamins and minerals to your cell tissues. And if you are blunting this by taking a statin, you're actually robbing your body of nutrient health. So one of the most important things you can do is what's called an NMR lipid profile to look and find out how many of the LDL particles do you have and their sizes. If you are pattern A and you have a lot of large, fluffy LDL particles, even if your total cholesterol is north of 100, you are okay. But if you have pattern B, lots of small particles, LDL, then it's technically a risk factor, and we need to work on shifting them from the small to the large particles. I'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back from our commercial break. What are the natural alternative techniques to lowering cholesterol? How do we switch you from pattern A to pattern B? Pattern B to pattern A. We want the small particles to become large particles. What can you do with diet and supplementation? And then here's the joy of it, guys. You can see your cholesterol levels improve. You can see total levels come down. HDL levels go up. LDL levels switch to being more fluffy, large particles. And the secret now is the ratios have improved. So if you want more information about how to do this, take an opportunity right now. Text the word HEART with your name and email to 704-906-2094. I've got my Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook. It's free for you. It has conversations about the particle sizes. It even shows you specific diets and supplementation that you can begin right now. All the alternative herbs, all of the alternative guides. What are the top 5 supplements that help to lower cholesterol naturally? All yours for free. Text the word HEART with your name and email to 704-906-2094. And again, you get the master class, which is next Saturday, 10 a.m. in the comfort of your home. I'm going to come through a webinar presentation, and I'm going to take you through a process of understanding your labs. Look, we're even giving away a free evaluation of your current cholesterol levels. Answer the survey when we email it to you. Type in all your cholesterol levels. And on the live event, I'm going to point out, hey, Mary, that's pattern B. We got to talk about this. Hey, John, that's pattern A. Great job. Hey, Jill, whatever, pattern B. How do we take pattern B, which is dangerous, the small particles, and shift it over to pattern A? We'll talk about it as we come back from this commercial. We're also going to dive deep into it on the masterclass. And then for you joining the masterclass, you're going to learn the steps on how to not only solve that pattern, but help to reduce and or eliminate the desire and the need for medications as your heart heals itself. Once again, text the word HEART with your name and email to 704-906-2094. Okay, so ratios, very important, okay? I want you guys to understand this. Numbers are good, but ratios are better. The relationship of how your total cholesterol compares to your HDL or how your LDLs compare to your HDL. And watch this, something that's very rarely ever talked about, how triglycerides and something called VLDL, very low density lipoprotein, is more important and tied to your total cardiovascular health than just your HDLs and LDLs. We're going to dive deeper into each of those, plus the natural solutions when we come back from our commercial break. And take an opportunity right now. Join me for the masterclass Saturday next week on the 8th. Download the Heart Heal Thyself ebook. You could do it right now during our commercial break. Text the word HEART with your name and email to 704-906-2094. Hey, it's the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. We'll be right back.
What if we told you coffee was good for you?
Coffee is the single highest source of antioxidants in the Western diet. more antioxidants than kale, more antioxidants than 70% dark chocolate, and more antioxidants than blueberries.
In fact, what if we told you that coffee is really good for you?
Research shows that 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day dramatically enhances performance in high-intensity exercise, improves memory, reaction times, and overall cognitive function, decreases risk of depression, promotes weight loss by boosting metabolic rates, reduces risk of type 2 diabetes up to 40%, decreases risk of liver cancer up to 71%, reduces risk of Parkinson's up to 30%, and decreases risk of Alzheimer's up to 65%. Overall, coffee drinkers live longer. People who drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day have about a 15% lower risk of premature mortality compared to people who don't drink coffee.
And what if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind: how can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1, we search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2, we test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3, we nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Hi, my name is Gary Greenfield with Greenfield Water Solutions, and I want to introduce you to our newest product, the MR500. It's a whole house structured water filter system. It's set up in an all stainless steel multi-round filter housing. It features inlet and outlet for the water, a bleeder valve for when you're changing out the filters to reduce pressure, and to remove the top for access to the filters. You simply open up the clamp, remove the top, and this plate here holds all the filters in place. Simple to remove. It comes out, and you can see what we have on the inside here. It's 5 Aquamedics filters and a vortexing tube and a harmonizer. That's the whole system. This is designed to filter 5 gallons per minute, and all of the contaminants that it does remove are listed on the website, which is a very broad array of contaminants. These are the highest rated filters that I know of on the market that are filter cartridges. They can be changed out yearly. And of course, the process is very simple. You won't have to hire a plumber to do a change out. And the filters are available from Greenfield Water Solutions. And if you want to know more about this, you can read about it on the product page or give us a call. Thanks for watching. That's it for now from Greenfield Water Solutions.
To bring you the best natural wine the world has to offer, we've designed a fully curated membership program. Every selection you receive is different and unique. Every wine is picked by our wine team, lab tested for purity, and curated into a special box for your enjoyment. So how does the membership work? We offer 2 main options: a half case of 6 bottles or a full case of 12. You can request all reds, all whites, or a perfect split of both. Then you can set the frequency, monthly or every other month. We offer a similar simple membership for rosé and sparkling wines. After you choose these basic options, we'll do the rest. With every box we send you, we aim to present the greatest diversity of flavors, textures, and profiles. There is a healthy mix of the classics, but also rare varietals. We do this because natural wines taste different from their commercial counterparts. We want to share the best possible experience with you, so you can discover new wines you love. And you can always reorder a wine that took your heart, or ask us to avoid certain profiles. The best part is, you don't need any wine knowledge to fully enjoy these boxes. We curate our selections to be enjoyed without worry. Ultimately, this is Dry Farm Wines. We are so grateful to be able to share the power of natural wines with you.
Would you like to experience a better night's sleep? Want to feel well rested and ready for your day? Discover an amazing solution with Celliant Sleep Recovery. Our Celliant Sleep Recovery products are made from a patented yarn embedded with a blend of 13 infrared active minerals. Celliant technology never washes out. The benefits will last for their entire lifespan. Minerals reflect the body's own energy by using Celliant infrared active technology, boosting your oxygen levels and improving circulation to reach REM sleep gracefully. Our customers love to comfortably sleep throughout the night because of Celliant. We've conducted 9 independent clinical studies by well-respected scientific institutions and universities that prove the many positive effects Celliant has on the body. Our technology is designed to help you achieve a refreshing sleep recovery. Experience the foundation your body deserves. Start waking up refreshed and always ready for the day ahead. It's time to achieve the best sleep of your life to unlock your hidden potential. Start experiencing a better night's sleep with our Celliant Sleep Recovery products today. Celliant. Recycle your body's energy.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst show. I'm your host, Dr. Aaron Ernst, and today's show topic is a controversial conversation about cholesterol. Is it really as dangerous as we've been told? Does having your numbers look good on your labs automatically mean you are protected from cardiovascular disease and or heart health? And sadly, the current research is saying no. There's plenty of people who have normal cholesterol levels and have the same heart disease risk factors and also the same amounts of strokes and heart disease as those who have elevated cholesterol. So what we're now learning is that your LDL number is not enough anymore. Your total cholesterol number is not enough anymore. You can't just look at a total cholesterol score and an LDL score and say, therefore, I either have heart disease and I'm developing it or I don't. The newest research is showing that you need to go deeper into looking at the size of your cholesterol particles, most specifically the LDL particle, to find out, are you pattern A, which is actually a healthy version, or are you pattern B, which is a very dangerous version? Small particles that are very dense, that can get stuck inside the cell tissues and inside the membranes, that can become oxidized and calcified. Now we see a connection towards the plaquing and the cardiovascular disease. So it's possible that your LDL numbers could be perfect, but they're in the pattern A. Or it's possible that your LDL numbers could be elevated and you're actually completely fine because you're in, again, the pattern A. If you're pattern A, we're okay. If you're pattern B, it's a destructive pattern. You need to find out what kinds of cholesterol particles do you have. The most definitive way of doing that is through a test called an NMR profile. It looks at the size of the particles, not just their counts. Another way you can do this very simply is by pulling out your most recent cholesterol test, and instead of just looking at the numbers, take notes of these ratios. These are the most important numbers you can look at to determine your overall cardiovascular health. What is your total cholesterol divided by your HDL as a ratio? Take your total cholesterol, take your HDL, divide those two. If that number is under 3.5, then you are good. Even if your total cholesterol is high, because if your HDL levels are high, your total cholesterol is going to elevate simply because they're connected. So having good cholesterol of an HDL level that is, about 50 to 60 is very, very good. In fact, there's studies showing that the majority of people that have heart attacks, they don't have necessarily high LDL levels. What they have is extremely low HDL levels. If an HDL is under 50, the risks for heart disease start to climb. If it goes over 60, then your risks for cardiovascular disease decline. Why? Because it changes the ratio between total cholesterol and HDL. So the first number that you can do right now is go grab your total cholesterol number, grab your HDL number, divide total cholesterol by HDL, and if you're seeing a number that is under 3.5, you are good to go. Now, if that number's climbing 4, 5, 6, that's a red flag. That means your cholesterol total score is high, but your HDL is very low. And again, there are studies showing low HDL levels with high total cholesterol. Now we're at a risk factor. Okay, ratio number 2 that's important to look at. It's your LDL to HDL ratio. Okay, ideally that's under 2.0. So if you have, say, an HDL of 50, you want your LDLs to be 100. Now here's where this breaks this kind of dogma of total number is all that matters. I'll give you an example. My HDL levels are in the 70s. Okay, so by definition, my LDLs should be around 140, because if it's anything lower than that, my ratio is off and I'm now at a more risk. I've done the NMR profiles and discovered that at 120 for my total cholesterol, for my LDL cholesterol, I am a pattern A because I have lots of large fluffy particles. So by medical definition, my LDL levels are high. A classically trained conventional physician would want to give me statins, but because I know the truth, which is about ratios and size, I have perfect peace with the fact that my numbers are actually in the ideal zone, what they should be. Okay, so take your LDL number and take your HDL number, divide that, so LDLs divided by HDLs, and if it's around a 2.0, we are good. Okay, so now the third one, total triglycerides and HDL. Okay, so triglycerides are a type of fat, and ideally you want that to be under 2.0. So again, if you have an HDL of around 50, your triglycerides should be around 100. So if your triglycerides are going north of 150, we're now thinking fatty liver disease, metabolic syndrome. And again, it can skew the ratios, which can kind of hint as to what's the underlying cause. Now, here's something that a lot of people have never even looked into or been tested. It's something called a VLDL, very low density lipoprotein. And that one doesn't carry cholesterol, but this is why this is so important. It carries fats. So if you have a high VLDL number, now we're starting to think, okay, it's a fatty acid metabolism issue. There's an inflammatory process going on, and it's leaning more towards fatty liver, which is known as metabolic syndrome, or some people even call it diabesity, which is a likelihood that there is some sort of diabetes involved or insulin sensitivity. Now, I don't know if you know this as well, but most people that have type 2 diabetes have elevated cholesterol. And there's a reason for this. Metabolic syndrome creates inflammation. The elevation in blood sugars, and as those sugars pump through your blood, inflames your arteries. And again, we talked about this before. LDL is a nutrient delivering system. It doesn't just carry cholesterol, it carries vitamins and minerals and fats that your cells need. So if you're in a need for repair, so let's say you're highly inflamed by being a type 2 diabetic, your cholesterol levels are going to go up as a natural compensation to try to repair the cell tissues because of the inflammation. So one of the greatest ways you can help your cholesterol levels to come down is by actually starting to take a deeper dive into your health and looking, what is your A1C? What is your insulin relationship? How much vitamins and minerals do you actually have in your body? Because if you're vitamin C deficient, if you're vitamin D deficient, if you're vitamin E deficient, cholesterol levels go up. So if we start to nutrient feed and give your body the fats that it needs for proper fat consumption, healthy saturated fats, plant fats that are saturated, you're going to actually see your HDL and your LDL levels shift. And so this is where it comes down to the idea that we have to start looking at a greater underlying root cause than just saying, my total cholesterol is high, I'm going to take a statin, I'm going to make my numbers look good, my doctor's going to be happy, but yet the research is showing, hey, your heart is still potentially being inflamed, irritated, and you can end up at the same levels of risks for having cardiovascular disease. So how do we switch this, okay? How do we get the pattern B small particles to shift over to pattern A, which is a healthy state? How do we get your HDL levels to start elevating so that you can have better relationships with all of the ratios? It's by understanding that cholesterol is the response to an inflammatory condition. Typically, it's because the liver is either heavily congested with too much fat, so an undiagnosed fatty liver, too many toxins, pesticides, herbicides, and heavy metals, and that you're struggling with your sugar metabolism. Okay, I know I talk about this a ton, but even if you're not diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic, so many Americans and a lot of patients I work with are in this early pre-diabetic insulin resistance. So the carbohydrate intake that we have is going to correlate typically to the total amount of cholesterol. If you're on a high carb, low fat, low saturated fat, low cholesterol diet, you tend to see that your numbers are elevated. If you've ever heard about the ketogenic intermittent fasting diet, this low carbohydrate, high fat, plant fat, healthy saturated fat diet in conjunction with moderate protein has been found in research to lower total cholesterol scores, increase HDL, decrease triglycerides, and even make the LDL particles larger. Now watch, that's going from the high risk pattern B to the low risk pattern A simply by changing your diet. And look, if you're wondering like, what am I supposed to eat and how am I supposed to do this? Take a moment right now, text the word heart plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. I've got a free Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook. It'll show you the particle sizes, how you find out what you have, what is the diet, what are the nutrients, what are the supplements that can make that switch for you, all free in the ebook. And I'm hosting a masterclass on next Saturday, 10 a.m. in the morning. It's July 8th. I'd like to invite you and anybody that you know that is struggling with high cholesterol, that's taking medications, high blood pressure, again, medicating, high triglycerides. Maybe you've already been diagnosed with fatty liver. Maybe you have a palpitation or an arrhythmia. And if it's a heart health issue, this event is going to help you to find your underlying cause, fix it with natural solutions, and you get the joy of being the healer. Weight can come off, cholesterol can come down, blood pressure can drop when you stop medicating symptoms and you unlock the natural healing power of your body by going for root cause. Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook, yours free. Now, text the word heart with your name and email to 704-906-2094. And again, as a bonus, you get free access to the masterclass we're hosting next Saturday. Okay, so if you want to lower your cholesterol naturally, if you want to switch from the dangerous pattern B over to the healthy pattern A, step number 1 is we got to follow more of an intermittent fasting ketogenic diet. The research shows, again, it can lower your total cholesterol, increase your HDLs, lower your LDLs, and even switch them to what should be the healthy pattern, which is pattern A. And I know it sounds crazy to think if you eat more fats and you eat healthy saturated fats and you actually technically eat more cholesterol, that your body is going to lower all of the numbers. But in fact, it's actually true. Even though it sounds backwards, increasing your fat can actually help you to regulate cholesterol, both in the short and in the long term. And as a bonus, this diet also helps you not only to lose weight, but it can also help to regulate your liver health and your cardiovascular health. Okay. We also know that there are certain supplements that you can use that can lower your cholesterol drastically, more so than even taking statins. Niacin, which is, you're going to get this through vitamin B3, has been found to be a natural cholesterol lowering supplement. Okay. It's found in beef liver, chicken breast, sunflower seeds, grass-fed red meats, and you may also want to do it as a direct supplemental form. Niacin is sometimes prescribed by some holistic integrative physicians as something you take with a statin, but the large studies have revealed that a time-released niacin can help to reduce LDL levels and raise your HDL levels. And watch this, it can even reduce triglycerides and reduce those VLDL particles by up to 68% by study. Niacin can sometimes create what's called a flush, which is a discomfort, itching, skin tingling, sort of hot sensation. There's no negative effects to it other than the fact that you're going to feel the symptomatology. But what it shows us is that you've reached the saturation level of niacin in your body, and you should be having the healthy effects of it lowering your cholesterol. Red yeast rice, sometimes considered to be a controversial supplement. Red yeast rice acts very similar to a statin, but it has none of the negative side effects. If you're taking a statin for any duration of time to lower your cholesterol, note that you're also robbing your body from CoQ10, which is an essential nutrient needed for energy production, cardiovascular longevity and health, and it's responsible for the electrical conductivity across the heart. So again, it's kind of odd to think if we're taking a medication to fix our cholesterols to make our heart healthy, we should be thus making our heart healthy, and yet we're lowering nutrients that have actually been connected with healthy cardiovascular function. In a 2015 study, red yeast rice not only prevented the cholesterol levels from elevating, but it helped people to lose weight. It improved overall lipid profiles, so both HDL, LDL, and triglycerides, and it was able to keep the LDL levels sustained and low, equal to and or better than a medication. Red yeast rice is something that's very simple to take. You can do it on a daily basis, and it can help to lower your cholesterol. Did you know that lemongrass essential oil is a powerful oil that has the ability to, again, in research, show evidence of lowering LDLs, lowering VLDL, which is your triglyceride carrier, raising your HDL, and helping total cholesterols to become better ratio. Now, here's the interesting thing. Some of the research shows that it also assists with the conversion from the small particle B over to large particle pattern A because of its anti-inflammatory effects. So we have niacin, we have red yeast rice, we have the lemongrass essential oil. And I'd also like, I think you guys know this, there are certain foods that you can consume which can drastically help to sensitize your body to cholesterol and help you to lower your total cholesterol relationships. Okay? The number one food that we should be going after when we're talking about cholesterol, again, is watching out for those high processed carbohydrates. So things like, white sugar and even fructose, fruit sugars, etc. We know that the herbs turmeric and garlic are also very potent natural cholesterol lowering agents. Turmeric, because of its active ingredient curcumin, which is an anti-inflammatory, in research has been shown to lower total cholesterol levels and LDL levels in circulating blood. Garlic is well known for its cardiovascular protective components, and research is showing that garlic is now even being found to lower and change cholesterol levels. According to over 39 studies that I have found, they're all on our website, AskDrErnst.com, Consuming garlic on a regular basis, so like a clove or two roasted and consumed for at least 2 months, can lower cholesterol levels, lower LDL levels, elevate HDL levels, and even lower triglyceride levels, which can help to improve your ratios. Now, the challenge here is, again, most people will say that garlic has too much of a harsh taste, but if you simply put it on a roasting pan, spray it down with either an avocado oil or a coconut oil and throw in the oven and roast it, those roasted garlic capsules can be consumed and eaten, and it helps to, again, increase your body's cardiovascular health. It lowers inflammation, and it helps to balance out cholesterol, elevating HDL and lowering your LDL levels. Fatty fish like salmon are packed with the omega-3 fatty acids, which can decrease cholesterol levels and also help to relieve inflammation within your body. So as you become less inflamed, you need less cholesterol to go around and clean up the inflammatory damage. Did you know that avocados are extremely high in fiber, potassium, and healthy fats, which have been shown to assist in cholesterol conversion, relationship, and reduction? Not only do avocados help to increase your HDL levels, but they can reduce total triglycerides, and they've also been shown again to assist with the conversion from pattern B, small particle cholesterol, over to large particle pattern A. Again, if you're looking to find out more about how do we increase our HDLs, decrease our LDLs, drop our triglycerides, see our total cholesterol ratios improve, I implore you to take a moment right now. Download our Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook. We'll text it directly to you, and you'll have all the information you need. The supplements, the diet, the detox, all the history behind heart disease, and how cholesterol, though we have been told it is the villain against heart disease, is actually a component that you need for your heart to be healthy and heal. You can grab the free ebook by texting the word HEART with your name and email to 704-906-2094. I'm also hosting next Saturday the Holistic Heart Health Summit. It's an online masterclass. I'll come into your house through a webinar presentation, and I'm going to take you through a natural 3-step process that we've developed over the last 15 years of being in practice that has helped patients bring their cholesterol levels down, lower their blood pressure, reduce their triglycerides, become less reliant, and even completely eliminating their medications. On the event, you're going to hear from local Charlottesville who have lost 40, 50 pounds, pulled their triglycerides levels down, gotten off statin medications, and even resolved blood pressure issues by taking a more natural, holistic route. We're looking for the underlying root causes again. Is there a neurological inflammation between how your brain is communicating with your heart? Is there a toxicity present, an inflammation because of either pesticides, heavy metals, or organic toxins that can congest your liver, which causes your liver to produce more cholesterol as a healing component? Maybe there's also a gut leak. We discussed at the top of the hour how if you're decreasing your saturated fats, decreasing your cholesterol, taking a statin, you may actually be preventing your intestines from healing, leading to a leaky gut, which causes an autoimmunity, and then your body can start to elevate inflammatory markers. We know certain markers like C-reactive protein, homocysteine, your SED rates can all show up on blood work, but I'm telling you, there is a much better method of testing cardiovascular health by looking at it from a holistic functional perspective. So in summary, is cholesterol the villain that it's always been taught out to be? No. Okay. Is LDL always to blame? No. If your LDLs are in the pattern B, small particles, yes, that's a risk factor and a concern, and you need to shift them over to pattern A. If your LDL levels are slightly high and you're wondering, do you have a healthy pattern? Get an NMR test done. It's a nuclear magnetic resonance lipid profile test. I'll talk much more about this on the masterclass. You can find out the sizes of your particles, but don't forget, a simple at-home ratio calculation, taking your total cholesterol divided by your HDLs, taking your LDLs divided by your HDLs, and taking your triglycerides and divided by your HDLs will tell you more about your cardiovascular health than just the raw total numbers. If your ratios are good and you're in pattern A, even with elevated cholesterol, you are, my friend, functionally healthy, strong, healing, and whole. Now watch this. If your ratios are off balance, but your total numbers look good medically and you're in pattern B, now you're at a high risk for cardiovascular disease, even though your numbers look great. And guys, I hate to say it, but this happens over and over and over again with individuals who not only have been lied to by medicine, but have believed the statin theory lie. And they're pushing their cholesterols down, dealing with the side effects of a low CoQ10 and nutrient deficiency, and not healing themselves. So if you're looking for a way out, if you're taking a statin, a blood pressure medication, something to deal with an arrhythmia palpitation, text the word HEART with your name and email to 704-906-2094. The ebook is yours for free. Think of it as a roadmap towards you having a healthier heart. And then join me next Saturday for the masterclass. It's at 10 a.m. in the morning. It's absolutely free for you to be there. Simply text the word HEART with your name and email. Again, 704-906-2094. Hey, it's the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. I look forward to speaking with you each and every week. Be blessed. Have a happy Saturday. And I'll see you guys on the masterclass next week. Until then, bye-bye.